Hello, friends. Good morning. The today very news that is being published by the Statesman News in India. The topic he covered is very interesting. That is the relationship and the rhetoric that the Quad countries peoples actually raging against the China. And I am going to emphasize the importance of China in the global economic front. I mean, the China has a global say in the economic front. I cannot exclude, or we cannot exclude, particularly China, because of it is the global engine for economy. It is driving the economy. If I means Quad excludes the China, then there would be a chaotic world order into the economic front. I am going to put forth my argument because I said that it would be a chaotic world on the economic front, because China is a center of economy right now. Just look at some figures, then you would be able to understand the China's importance and the Quad countries' group political rhetorics. Look at it. The China trade reached, Chinese trade reached in 2022 at record level 6.2 trillion. Global trade 6.2 trillion. China's global trade reached record level 6.2 trillion in 2022. Real GDP growth rate of China 3% was lowest in several decades, which is also grown up 7.7% from the previous years. It is lowest, but in the previous years 7.7% grown. But in the 2022, there was economic challenges due to the COVID-19 restrictions. But China is its internal strength. Due to the internal strength, its real GDP growth was 3%. Just for my viewers, I'm telling you what is the real GDP. Real GDP is the inflation adjusted GDP, nominal GDP minus inflation. Okay. So the real world, correct GDP would be like this. 3% was the 3%, but this was the lowest in many decades. But it is 7.7% up from the previous years. Look at the Quad countries. Quad countries, Australia, India, and Japan, and USA. Look at US-China trade relation. Say 6.71 billion. 691 billion. Look at this data, 691 billion bilateral trade between US and China, which is 5 times more than India's bilateral trade with China. And I'm sure that China would be in positive domain of trade. And China, Australia's largest trading partner, and fifth on imports front and 10th on export fronts. Their bilateral trade $221 billion in 2022, 29% decrease due to the Chinese imposed sanctions on Australia's export on the wine and coal. Okay, wine and coal. They imposed a sanction on Australia's exports. Due to this, Australia's export decreased 29%. Okay. Otherwise, it would be greater than $250 billion. And look at India, China. You know, we have many problems on the border. Along with that, we traded with China $135.98 billion 2022. China's export to India increased 22%, approximate 22%. It is approximate 21.59. But I'm taking roughly 22%. And export 118.5. And India's export to China is 11.48%, which is 40% decrease. And Japan and China. Japan export to China 150 billion, and China's export to Japan 190 billion. So there is trade deficit of 44 billion approximate. So if you summarize all the data given here, you will reach at the point of the China's importance. China's trade with Quad countries is approximately $1.4 trillion bilateral trade. It would be $1.5 trillion, which is, if I divide it 6.2%, it would be, I think, 20% of China's bilateral trade with other countries. So, would you still thinking that China can be excluded from the global economy? That is not going to happen. It has a gravity, and we cannot exclude China. Yes, we can divert our supply chains, but for that, there should be a supply chain clusters in the world, because as Mr. Jaishankar, our foreign minister, always saying, we need multipolar world. Multipolar doesn't mean that only the political multipolarity, but it is also on the economic front. There should be a kind of friend-shoring concept coming into play now in these days. Countries are developing their relationship with their friends, so that the supply chain disruptions would not get worsened when such type of pandemic kind of thing comes into play in the future. So I think you have get some glimpse of China and China's importance in the global arena. It is only 4 countries which contributes 20% of bilateral trade. It is definitely has repercussions on many fronts as well. So thank you for your cooperation. If you like my initiative, please subscribe my channel and share it. Thank you very much.